Hello YouTube and welcome back to GrunfWorks Plays KSP, and in today's mission we will be upgrading our station, but to do that I need first to research the big probes. So, large probes, correction, yes. So what's the quickest way? Automation? Well, that would give me an antenna, good. A big relay antenna, good. So let's research that, and the large probe. Because I ultimately want to be able to send automated ships up to the station, because that really doesn't make sense to build any more, ships just to, go up to the station and back. So I want to have the probe craft. Yes, there we go. That's one. Docking port. Thank you. And the RCS port. So this will be a module for our space station that will be docking there, and then we will be using that one as sort of a communications hub slash refueling slash docking station. Yes. So let's see, I need the Rockomax brand adapter, there we go. Then this guy, and then a few of the modular girder segment. Just to make a big pole where, will be our docking section, as well as, yeah. Usually I pull this one long, and this one long will be often, let's just put a clampotron at the bottom, yes, thank you. That sounds about right. So, then let's put this, clamps, or not clamps, I don't know what they're, hinges. Yes, that's the word, and then on top of them we will be placing these guys, so like that. So the whole purpose of these is that those will be extending once we actually dock to the station, and there will be 2 more docking ports. See, that's the easy way how you can make a 3-point dock and then just fold it nicely into the fairing. See, beautiful, isn't it? I don't like the fact that it clips. So let's see what we can do about that. We remove this and place small cubic octagonal strut, the master of all construction. Yes. And now when we fold this, oh, look at that, much better. So I just want to adjust the angle going from 0 to 90. So 0 to 90, thank you. Only minor clipping, good. Station, docking station Mark 1. Station part for docking craft. And namely, the reason why I'm building this, I want to be getting into shuttles, SSTOs and all that jazz. And for those I need some reliable method of docking and placing them in the correct, spot. And usually SSTOs and shuttles do a little bit more docking clearance than the other craft, because the rockets are sleek and the shuttles are just a little bit, different. So let's put some lights. A remote probe module, because we want to be remote controlling the probe. Yes, batteries we have, good. Communications we have, probe core we have. SAS unit, yes we have, cool. RCS for the docking, yes, and another RCS set here. And an antenna. I think this one should be a very nice antenna to be placed for communication purposes. Yes, look at that. Then it doesn't make sense to have 4 lights, let's just put 2 lights here, and then the 2 red lights below. I think that will be actually better. So smaller lights, bake them more into the station, yep. There we go, and I'm gonna change the color to red. Good. So this is the module that I want to be docking to the station, and it will be docking on the bottom of the station. So, flippity flip, there we go. And now we build a rocket below it. In hindsight, since I'm now doing the post commentary, I didn't realize that it will result my ship or my thing into being an upside down cake. But yeah, what can you do? These things tend to happen just. Right, strutting the thing a little bit. It doesn't hurt, it never hurts to be strutted. Then we want to have a decoupler underneath. Yes, please. Payload, airstreak protective shell, 2.5 or 3.75. That would give us a nice headroom in terms of... Oh, clipping. Yes. No, we have to enlarge the fairing. This might be better. 3.75 meter. Come on. Ooh, I hate when this happens. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Clamshell deploy. 4 sides. 5 sides. Looks good enough in my book. Now, let's find a tank large enough to fit underneath. Oopsie. Yeah, I guess I never researched the 3.75 meter tanks. Oops. That might be a problem. So if I want to put 2.5, oh, it just looks ridiculous. Screw it. Let's just put this guy. And then we shall be putting 2.5 meter below. Yes, like that. Going large. Yes. There we go. Large. Yes, yes. Smaller. And even smaller. Thank you. This looks much better. Alright, so sides 4 and that looks good enough. Let's do the Soviet style, gray and orange. Two orange tanks at the bottom, of course, as if that was ever a question. Now a mainsail, the bread and butter of all rocketry. So, yeah, alright. Now, we have to figure out what shall we be placing. Decoupler, right smack in the middle, and then fuel tanks, these guys. Yeah, I do like those, but they tend to hit their own, so I'm not overly confident into that premise. Oh wait, this doesn't have the color. Okay, now there goes my design choice. Bye bye. Let's put this tank rather. We can smack it in the middle. Yes. Then we can put the smaller tank on top and the smaller tank on the bottom. Thank you. And they fit the orange theme perfectly. Aerodynamics. Nose cone. Yes. Good. Another mainsail. Yes. And then I want to replicate this in how many? Quadruple? I think the quadruple should be good enough. Let's see. Quadruple. Hexuple. Oh, this is tedious. No. Crap. Now I have to go in and detach these manually. Okay. You detach. Thank you. Now, not sextuple, but quadruple. Yes. Quadruple looks good enough. I just have to place you a little bit lower. That's good enough. And it looks nice too. See? I knew it. Let's set up the staging. And we will be doing asparagus staging this time. I've got some tips that you should basically be dumping the side tanks at the last, and that's correct, because when you are the most angled, if you dump the tanks that are on side, not on the top and the bottom, it makes things a lot easier. So thank you for the advice. As you can see, I'm listening to your comments, and thank you so much. Now, strutting the crap out of this thing. Alright, let's see, 4,311 meters. Well, that's not enough, I would say. Let's see what we can place on top. Oh, right. Since these rockets are kind of huge-ish, I would like to place separatrons. And since I can put them in quadruples, that's okay. You drop here, you then from here, and then they should be dropping in pairs. Okay, so now we have to fix the staging. Yes. So you don't, you do, you don't, you do. Good. We move you with this first pair. Correct. Then you don't, you do, you don't, you do. Right. We move you with the second. Thank you. Third pair. And finally the fourth pair. So all of you will be activating when this stage decouples. Perfect. That means the rest of you should be activating when the other stage decouples. Cool. Right. That gives us a 4,500 and something meters per second. I'm going to be placing some fins here for stability reasons, obviously. Then some fins here. Good. And then 4.497, well, I'd like a little bit more oomph if you get me. So, what can we be placing? Not the thumpers, I would like the kickbacks. I like the kickbacks because they have a certain kick to it. Right. There we go, then you from the other side. What's the thrust to weight ratio if they run together? 0.76, not good enough. If I place one more here-ish, right, and one more here-ish. Okay, that's a little bit tight, but sure. Let's place them closer rather, and you, I want to be placing you closer to this guy. There we go. Much better. So, how do we look now? 5.3 thousand. Well, that's good enough. Let's just drop them all at the same time. Oh, that's gonna be a beautiful mess. Strut them. Absolutely. More struts and more boosters. As you guys said, well, I'm not the most efficient guy when it comes to this, but I definitely like my boosters. Yeah, so I guess that's fair enough. Let's put the nose cones on top. There we go. Looks okay to me. Now strutting this thing just to make sure that nothing, that whole hell doesn't break loose. And then we should be placing these guys somewhere around here. Strapping on for the boosters, yes, thank you. And the launch clamps you guys should release after the mains boosters kick in. There we go. I mean, that's not over-engineered at all. What could possibly go wrong? So just before we launch, let me double check things once again, that make sure that the staging is correct. And I actually might want to be, I remember that I have placed the probe body backwards. So sorry about that, we'll just do a tiny correction. I almost pressed the launch button there. Now, probe body flip. Yes, you flip back and then you flip back. And everything should be hunky-dory. See? No problemo. Save. Now we're ready for the launch. We'll be docking with the station orbital ship, and 3, 2, 1, and we have liftoff. By the way, this has an abysmally low thrust weight. It's, I think, 1.01, but it doesn't matter. We're propelling upwards and we will be using some delta V, so that's good. Solid fuel, rocket fuel is being burned and we're going rather stable, so By the way, for those who are wondering which colors are these, this is the Astronomer's Visual Pack. I'm using the version for 1.71, I think, or something, so it's like a little bit compatibility, but it still works pretty nice. And that's also the answer to the question which skybox I was using, which was posted by one of my commenters. Alright, getting ready for the booster separation. Okay, kicking in the main engines as well, and then dumping the boosters. Oh, this will be a wonderful mess. Oh, look at that. Confetti! Yes! Alright, now we have a total of 4,500. So the boosters were used for just that, giving us initial boost of the launch platform. Now we're already on our way to set up a rendezvous and then dock this bad boy to the station. A little bit of noodle wobble. I don't believe it. I strutted the damn thing. And it still gives me the noodle wobble. Okay, dumping these two. Hopefully that will stabilize a little bit. Okay, we are over 100 apoapses, which is just perfect. So let me just set up, there we go. And as we do that, we'll set up the rendezvous. There we go. Oh, in hindsight, that might not be the rendezvous I'm looking for, because that would require my periapsis to be still in the atmosphere, so the rendezvous would never happen, essentially. No, doesn't matter. I'll first circularize and I'll work out on the rendezvous. I was kind of hoping we do the rendezvous right from the get-go, but guess not. Point the rocket prograde, and we have plenty of delta V. We need a total of 1,500 and we have 3,500, so way more than enough to circularize. I expected some margin when it comes to the, you know, setting up the maneuvers and stuff, but apparently we are well over that margin, so we're good. $750 meters per second to burn. Pretty soon we will be dumping our boosters. Or the side boosters, that is. There we go. Bye-bye, side boosters. And let's kick in the gas just to circularize our periapsis, apoapsis in a nice way. Good. Deploy the fairings, and this is the payload. Yes. Very beautiful. Screenshot for the episode. I'm definitely going to use this one. Now, lights off. We don't want to be consuming power, and now it's time that we set up a rendezvous. I'm thinking somewhere around here, possibly, where the lines intersect. After all, that would be the best place to actually do it, right? Good. Okay, that's the place where we're gonna do the maneuver node. Let's just set it up now nicely. A little bit of fiddlage, and there we go. Perfect. That looks about right, and maneuver prograde, we are almost aligned, so we will be warping before the maneuver node. Wonderful. Time warping. Almost there. Ooh, easy there, Tiger. Right, so the node is 4-3. Okay, we should be burning right about now. Perfect. Awesome. There we go, 5.2 meters. That's pretty much ideal. Just a little bit fiddlage. Right. All right. And now all we need to do is wait for another orbit until, okay, I think I'm gonna be toggling the torque just to make sure that we can more easily turn the craft. Yeah, screenshot for posterity. Right. Onwards and upwards. Warp to about here, I think. Yes, thank you. Beautiful. And now we should be getting into the rendezvous mode. Oh, look at that beautiful sunset. Isn't it gorgeous? Or sunrise. I think it's a sunrise, actually. Okay, toggle torque. This will give us a little bit more oomph when turning this vessel. "21 kilometers. Okay, we are coming in hot. That's for sure. Come on, turn, you, damn you. I don't want to do a flyby. And as always, guys, as I teach in my rendezvous, now I will be pushing the yellow reticule onto the purple one. That's the easiest way how I can explain a rendezvous, while decreasing my target velocity. Yes, that too. And we are 8 kilometers out, so it's gonna be a little bit drastic, but what can you do? So at the same time, I'm pushing them to align while reducing my velocity before we bypass this. It's a little bit of multitasking, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that difficult. Right. Okay, slowly decreasing our target velocity. So remember, I want that my target velocity is large so that we're closing the gap rather quickly, because if our target velocity was very low, it would take a long time to get close to the target. So this is a fine balanced dance. You want to make sure that you're aligned, and you want your target velocity to decrease, but not too quickly. Also, it depends on your thrust to weight. With mainsail, we have a monstrous thrust to weight, so we can ultimately stop very quickly, you know, dead in the middle of space. But if I was to use nukes or something like that, in that case, I would have to plan my burns a lot sooner. Okay, so there we got a physics bump. As you can see, we are approaching still pretty quickly. So I will be decreasing my target relative velocity. 10 meters per second. And when we come somewhere around 300-ish, I will be reducing it to 5. Okay. 5-ish, 2-ish. We're 200 meters out. Now the station is smaller than this vessel, so yeah. Okay, now we have designed so that this rocket gets a little bit more away from this station. So now let's decouple. I just want to make sure that I rotate it in a different manner. Good, decouple. Control from here, and now we should be docking at the bottom. Yes, why don't I get to select the docking port? Well, let's first set this one as a target until we approach the station, and then we'll be using the bottom one. Because this was designed to be on the bottom or on the top of the stations. Given that the cupola module is already on the top, we shall be placing that one on the bottom. So, $155 meters. We are closing in, and as you can see, I'm also keeping my pink and yellow reticules aligned, because that means that my both the target, which I have targeted the docking port, and my docking port from which I'm controlling will end up at the same place. At what relative angle? That's a different story. For those of you guys who are asking why don't I use the docking controls here, I don't know how to use them for the life of me. So sorry about that. I'm actually used on using the WASD and IJKL HN keys, so it's easier for me to eyeball it than to basically learn these docking controls. Mods wise, I use usually Navy Fish's docking port alignment indicator, but in this case I just have to eyeball it now. Oh, I see why I can, because we have this mini Soyuz-like module here planned here. Okay, that was our return module from the station. Huh. Well. Well. Okay, I guess we'll have to just change to this guy, and let's decouple this guy. Electric charge, good, and let's decouple. I hope that I have transferred Enley and Dan, which I might have not done. Right, well, never mind. You have done your research and it's time for you guys to go to the... It's time for you guys to go to Kerbin anyway. You're on a rotation. That's fine. Now, alignment, and now as you can see I was trying to understand what these controls do, but for the life of me I couldn't get them to work. I was just struggling here and I was like, okay, now I'm pressing, you know, move linear and whatnot, and no. Simply didn't work for me. So in the end I just swapped back to the regular mode and I use my trusty buttons, eyeballing everything as I did. By the way guys, if any of you has a good link to a good tutorial on how to use this docking mode, link it please in the description or in the comments. Alright, alignments left and right, 20 meters. Ultimately we should do fine. There we go, come on. Easy does it. Targets. There we go. Slowly but surely. They seem to be aligned more or less. Okay. Like I said guys, I'm hardly a pro when it comes to the docking, but I'll do my best. A little bit there, a little bit puff back, and then a little bit puff up, and we, after some, you know, grind, we have ourselves an alignment. Beautiful. Look at that. Control from here, and let's just rename it to the Kerbin Orbital Station. Yes. Well, I regret that orange tank leaving there. I should have had the return probe, but okay, let's decouple this. Ooh. Oopsie. Decouple. I have to decouple it. Dang it. Let's hope it doesn't blow the station. Oops. Just minor explosions, everything will be fine. Okay. Target angle, hinge, motorized. Let's open up the hinges and then we will have our docking station set up and our communication station set up. So beautiful. There we go. Opened up. See? Easy does it. Beautiful. Let's just rotate this. I think it will make a more compelling picture this way. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, nothing I can do about you, but these two guys, sadly, which got themselves stranded, you guys are going back to Kerbin. So, I was thinking of transferring them back to the station, but why bother? You did some scientific research, you managed to do the station, you learned how to do the docking, and now it's time for you two to go back home. I want to be returning them in the daylight. Too many times I actually use the nighttime to return, so there's that. There we go. So let's enable the engines. There we go. So orbit retrograde, and let's just burn until we get the periapsis of roughly 25 or 30-ish. 32, yeah, 27, doable. Oh, no need to open the landing gear just yet. Keep the retrograde, Enli and Dan, and we will be returning you, simply put, yes. There we go. Enli and Dan. Returning back to Kerbin. I even think you'll be landing on the same continent as the KSP or some other site. I have no idea. There we go. Entering the atmosphere. We have plenty of delta V, which we are going to use for braking in the atmosphere. Let's turn around so it looks nicer. There we go, and all that's left to do is to do the return. Enli and Dan, they're really happy. They've managed to witness our station coming together. We are no way done. We still need the solar section, the power generation stuff, the science lab, and a couple more modules, but we will be sending those in future episodes, I guess. I just want to be returning our Kerbals home safely before we wrap it up for this episode. And maybe, who knows, maybe grab some additional science. Well, that wouldn't hurt. So as you can see, our thrust to weight is negligible, but we are still managing to decelerate, and the ablator is doing its job. So hopefully Enli and Dan will be returning in a good fashion. So there we go. 26 kilometers above ground. We have 516 meters per second remaining. Okay, passing the sonic barrier. Now we're going Mach 2 roughly. So my drogue chutes are okay, so we're ready to deploy them. Handbrake, midair. There we go. And then we will be able to pull our main chutes as well. We are 10 kilometers above ground. There we go, main chutes as well deployed. And the landing gear. Crew hatch, crew report. Can we get some science, perhaps? Alright, almost there. In terms of landing, the chutes did deploy. This is funny. The drag chutes deployed, but not the main chutes. It just looks funny. Alright, 30 meters per second downwards velocity. Let's just time accelerate a little bit until we get to the surface. Oh, now the main ones have deployed, and now we're at 5 meters per second. Well, that's doable. Good enough, I would say. All right. $100 meters. And there we go. Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Crew report. Do some Science, seismic data. Oh yes, we got some science. Wonderful. Well guys, let's just wrap it up for this episode. You know what you need to do. Like if you like the episode, hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode, and hit that little notification bell so you get the notification when I post a new thing. And yes, I will be seeing you all in the next one. Once again, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off from the KSC.